Hmm. Oh, the day. Welcome everybody to the podcast. It's your boy, Big Boy Live. Where we keep it real, keep it live, and keep it on the cut. And you know what? For everybody, you want to enjoy tonight's episode. Well, hold up. What is that in the sky? I know it's not a bird. I know it's not an airplane. Oh, that's 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 Professor X.
Nice intro.
You know,
Nice intro. No, nice intro. That's good, man. You actually make me feel like I'm some kind of star on some other level.
well, you know, sometimes you gotta feel that way. Sometimes it's just that.
Yo, what the hell happened to you, man?
Man, I set my alarm clock, get me up, and it did not go off. I just happened to.
Oh, stop your lying ass. Just quit. Just quit. You weren't asleep. You was balls deep in some honey, and that's what was going on. Okay, I got it. That's fine. That's fine. I forgive you for that.
Our balls equal to sleep. Shoot.
Well, being balls deep in sleep is not a bad thing.
Not at all. That's when you wake up, you're like,
What's going on, man? How are you?
not bad, not bad. Oh man, it's getting geared up for the next week, the next week of what we do, and
Yeah.
I had a lot of photography shoots this weekend. I had 3 shoots this weekend, so stay
Oh,
kind of bit, stay kind of busy with that. But other than that, though, man, not doing too bad.
well, that's good. I mean, that's awesome that you got out there and got some more gigs and everything. So, like, how'd that go? Getting more customers?
Yeah, I mean, there were people I knew, but still, you still get yourself out there doing the, especially when you post the stuff out there on the web, social media, and all that stuff. You gotta get yourself. You're gonna be able to, get yourself out there even more. So it's all about trying to promote yourself, and get yourself, out there so people can see your work. Because photography is like art. So it was fun. Like I say, you have every situation. You always have a learning experience of what you should do, what not to do, what poses to do, what poses how. That's all part of it.
Right. Well, I mean, that's good, right? Get out there, get the business, do something you love. You know what I mean? That's a great thing.
And it was a beautiful weekend as far as weather. The weather was very good this week.
Yeah, the first weekends coming into actual spring, usually are. Um, man, I just hope we don't fall back on another week of cold again, man.
Oh man, that sucks. I mean, like, it's like, jeez, what? You feeling all good and everything. Next thing you walk outside, you're like, oh Lord. It's like taking a shower. And someone flushed the toilet and get cold water. I just had hot water for like half an hour.
Right.
Rough, yeah. So it's like, yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully, yeah.
No, it's weird, man. Like I got up. Okay, I got up Saturday. Went to go get my kids, and like when I stepped outside, it was like cold but hot, and I was like, well, what the crap is going on? Because my lower half was hot and my upper half was cold. So I went to go get my kids in shorts, a t-shirt, and my jacket. And then I was like, okay, on the way down there, I was like, man, it's starting to warm up a little bit. I was like, now I'm hot. And then I've got the jacket on and I'm like, you know the jacket. You've seen it for several years now. I got the jacket on, and once the jacket is on, AKA my purse, um, that's not coming off until I'm, home or until I've reached whatever destination I'm going to at that moment in time. And it was like, man, I was so hot by the time I got back here. And then the second I took that thing off, man, I got cold. I was like, man, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore with you this week, Mother Nature.
Man, I tell you, that's about how it is, though, man. It's like those people we see who out there wearing shorts and wearing a hoodie, or you next thing you know, they're like, dang, I gotta wear pants and a coat. The next thing they wear, I mean, it's that Midwest weather. You just never know. I mean, it's crazy how you have 4 seasons in one day. It reminds me of a commercial I seen a while back. There was the guy's walking outside in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's snowing. He turns back around, goes back back outside, and he has a coat, stocking cap on, and everything on, and it's hot. As soon as you walk outside, this is how it is, though, man. I know exactly how you feel because I was the same way this weekend too. I had a hoodie on, man. I was like, man, I was getting hot.
Right. But it's like it's not yet completely not hoodie weather. So it's like you put one on just to be safe, or in my case, my coat. I put my coat on just to be safe, and it's like, okay, yeah, everything's cool. And then 5 minutes into the duration of my day, I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't have this thing on. It's hot. Or the days I've walked out, without it, it's like, oh, I wish I would have had this thing. It's kind of chilly.
All right, those old folks are. Oh, baby, put my coat on. My granny. It's 95 degrees outside. Well, I feel a little slight chill.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's crazy though, man. Like the older I get, it's just like, good God, you can actually feel your skin getting thinner because of how cold you get at times where you should be warm. It's like, crap is going on right now. Crazy.
The thing about what I notice too is like when you get older, the older you get, like your body is a lot of times is determined by the weather. I mean, if it's like cold outside and you start feeling like have arthritis in your knee, your knees start hurting or just whatever, but it's cold outside. I mean, it's like it's crazy.
Oh, stiffness in your back, stiffness in your joints. Yeah, no, I know exactly what the heck you're talking about. Yeah, it's weird, man, because when we were kids and we had, our parents or our grandparents telling us, oh, don't worry, you'll learn with age. We were like, okay, yeah, whatever the heck that means, And then as we are aging ourselves, it's like, oh my God, I know what the heck that means now.
I mean, things are like you literally got to do things differently now. Like like you get, you got like when you buy stuff now, you got to buy stuff for a purpose now. Like like let's say like for instance like shoes, like you got to buy shoes, certain kind of shoes, a lot of support on them because if you get a shoe that doesn't have enough support on it, man, throw your whole body off. And man, I run back in the day, you can run around with no shoes on or run around with some cheap shoes on, you be all right. Now when you get older, man. Still with me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. I missed the last thing of what you said. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that as older you get, your decision making on what you buy, as far as like friends, I threw the example out, like as far as shoes change. You know, saying like back in the day when you were younger, you went around with some cheap $5 shoes on, and you're fine, you're cool. But now when you get older in age, I know I'm only 36 years old, but I noticed that I can't wear cheap shoes. I got to wear shoes with a lot of support on, because if not, you start hurting, start throwing your body off, and So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. Shoes, man, shoes are definitely, I think, honestly, I think that's the thing you should find out the quickest as you age. Like which shoes are going to work the best for you.
mm,
For me, it's my, four pair of Hey Dudes that I alternate through. Um, Dude, they are the most comfortable shoes I've ever walked in my entire life, let alone worked a 12-hour shift. And man, I love them to death. The only problem is, you know, after X amount of time, they start to break down. They're not as durable as like tennis shoes and things like that.
right.
But if you're looking for comfort, honestly, I recommend getting yourself a pair of Hey Dudes, because I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. Like it's literally like walking on clouds. You know, I would imagine at least.
Well, everybody out there in the world, and hopefully Hey Dude's listening to you. The Hey Dudes are Professor X approved. But yeah, man, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's like your decision making is based on your age. As the older you get, you don't do certain amount of things like you actually think about it first. How it was back when you're younger. You just go, oh, there's a long bear. I'm gonna jump over it, but I gotta jump over a lake. I can do it. You go do it. Now you're like, ooh, oh, hmm. I know good and well if I jump over that log and I trip, I'm gonna be hurting for a couple of days. You don't do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You go from being able to jump over a log to not being able to jump over a crack in the sidewalk. Yeah, I understand. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, now you think about it now, because your recovery time is not as quick as it was when you were younger. I mean, it's just life, and your body breaks down, a lot quicker now, and then it takes a lot longer for it to, go back to where it needs to be at. I mean, it's funny though. Like my buddy and I, we hung out, and it was nothing.
Do what?
It was nothing for us to like kill us 30 in like 20 minutes,
Okay.
and then go back to the store and buy another 30 pack, bro. Like he's same age as I am. Man, we hung out and stuff. Man, we didn't even finish the top layer of a 30 pack. We were, I mean, just after like 4 or 5 years, I'm like, especially eat, you can go to sleep, and he knocked out, knocked down on the couches and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's pretty. It's crazy how it was when you were younger, things that you did when you was younger, and I mean, as you get older, you get, it all depends on who you are too. Some people out there that they can still they be older and stuff, they can still hang with young folks, but it's all about your body too. So
Oh yeah. I mean, you're. Excuse me. No, yeah, you're completely right. Like, just standard things that break down with the body over time and everything like that, man. You know, talking about, things that you did that now you're like, there ain't no way in the world I could absolutely do. Um, I used to play basketball all the time. Like I lived and breathed basketball. Um, it was everything in the world to me, man. And it was like, after after injury and bad genetics, it was like I can't run anymore. I can't run up and down a basketball court like I used to. And then you throw in the fact that, I smoke on top of it. It's like I just set my own self up for failure. But, I
Right.
digress. Um, it's still one of my favorite things in the world to do.
Right.
I took my kids home today. I went and did laundry, and while my laundry was doing, I went to, kind of a park here in town. And for the first time in probably 10 years, I shot basketball. And man, it was uplifting. It was like, man, it felt so good to just do something from the old school again. But, piggybacking off of what you were talking about, I'm definitely feeling it because
Right.
I ran a lot.
Well, that's what it was, man. It's just that's exactly what it is. Like sometimes in life, dude, like you need to have little moments to where you can go back to where he was. Like I said, my buddy and I, that's what we did. That's what we did every weekend, dude. When we were back when we were younger, we were in between jobs here and there. So all we did was hung out at my house, eat barbecue and drink a little bit, and then sit up there and we'll watch stupid zombie movies. It was just fun. It was because we were two single dudes and this was his best friend or brother, and then now it's different now. He has his own family and stuff, and then you know he was free for the weekend and he came on over and we hung out. It's kind of like reliving the past a little bit. So sometimes you gotta do that though. I mean, yeah, sometimes you pay for it, sometimes you're not, but it's just part of life, and sometimes you gotta do that.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you got to do the things that you need to do to reconnect with yourself. Sometimes you got to do the things you need to do to be happy. Sometimes you got to do the things you need to do just to relieve stress
Right.
from whatever it is that you're going through in the moment. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Well, it's true. I mean, you gotta get back to your happy point. I mean, like, say for instance, like for example, you can have a guy that's a boxer or a guy that's a race car driver. They may be tired from that sport or something, but you put them behind a race car 20 years later, they're gonna get they're gonna start getting those old thoughts, memories, and feelings back, and the next thing you know, they're gonna be killing it.
Yeah, but
Because
that's because you're talking about muscle memory.
right,
You are reawakening muscle memory.
right.
That's what that is. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, man. I mean, it's just how it is. And sometimes you need to have those little reminders, little moments in life to make you go that allow you to go back and find it, allow you to go back and be like, oh yeah, yeah. But tell what those reminders are. You may next day you may feel, that was pretty cool yesterday doing that, or you'd be like, or you'd be like, oh shoot, oh my back, my knees, my neck, I ain't doing that no more.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I'll say the rest. So don't do that. Um, but no, I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. Um, I don't know. I know I'm going to wake up going to work tomorrow, and I'm still going to feel what I did today. But you know what? I'm glad. It's one of those. That's the thing, man. If it's a pain that we're okay with feeling, we will ultimately 100% embrace it all the time.
Right.
But if it is something that we are not okay with feeling, or we do not want to feel, or we refuse to feel, or we refuse to acknowledge whatever the situation is that rises up in that moment, we'll push it away with every effort that we absolutely possibly can.
Right.
It's just funny because pain shows up in both aspects of life. It shows up to teach us lessons that we do not want to learn, and then it shows up to teach us lessons or confirm lessons that we've always needed to learn.
Right. Or pain is one of those kind of things when one of those weirdos like the life's pain.
Look, I'm going to let you know something. Most men like pain. Most men like pain.
Right.
And it's because if we are not trying to fix something, we feel incomplete.
Right.
We are not going through some form of pain, we feel incomplete.
Well, you know the thing about it though too. And here's the thing, here's the thing too I realized though is like when you say pain, it doesn't always have to be a physical like a physical response to something. It could be pain could be designated being a lesson learned or situation to a lesson that you should do this and that. And now you realize you got to start all over again to redo this and that. I mean, that's what it comes to that kind of stuff, like pain like that. Because it happened that happened this weekend. Like my father was working on my water at my house, and what happened was, I have well water, so you have a bladder tank, and you have a regulator and a gauge and all that stuff. But my dad thought the regulator was bad, so he replaced the regulator in the gauge, and that was it. But we're still having the problem. When he looked at the old regulator, he knows there was a lot of sediment buildup, rust buildup inside there. So my dad's like, man, I bet you that one spot in there where the nipple in there for the metal rod, I bet you that's probably clogged up. He said, I should. He's like, no, I should have took that apart and replaced it when I got it, when I had it taken apart. So he took it apart, and guess what? I think it was clogged up the heck. And that was the reason why that was, the water pressure was getting all jacked up. He put it back together, and it worked. And he's like, you know what? I should have took it apart. I should have replaced it when I had a chance. But no, I didn't think about it. I didn't go with my instinct or my gut. So pain could be like a little reminder to yourself, hey, you should have done that.
Right. What else?
So, I mean, sometimes you gotta just, as you get older, you gotta look at situations and kind of like look at the whole big picture instead of going straight at it. Like how when you're younger, you know, I tell you didn't think about what the situation is, what could happen. You just straight did it. Now when you get older, you don't just go straight in there. You actually gotta think about like, all right, if I know I do this, one of two things can happen. So
Well, that's true. Hey, did you happen to see the video or the reel? I guess that was on Facebook earlier today, with Elon Musk talking about how we could um, make Mars an inhabitable planet for human beings.
I don't know that to that.
Hmm. Well, it was really kind of interesting, um, because they asked him, how would you go about doing that? And he said, do you want the quick way or do you want, the long way? And of course, they asked for the quick way. And whenever he said he would launch 2 nuclear weapons at the opposite poles of the planet Mars, nobody asked anything else. But I've been thinking about this all day long. And I'm like, man, if he did do that, it would help create an atmosphere around the planet, which would make it inhabitable, which means we would be able to move. And I'm like, but I don't know how many years it would take for, us to be able to move people without the radiation poisoning affecting the population.
Well, you know the thing about, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just said it was crazy. That's it.
Well, it is crazy because that's something they've been talking about for years. About can Mars be considered to be a habitable planet? Because Mars' ecosystem or solar system on there is similar to what ours is. It's the only thing different that it's a little bit further away from the sun. But people like Elon Musk, they're so smart. It can be a bad thing too because they try to do way too much. I mean, there's been movies about that, where people were just so smart and try to do way too much, and then it backfires, And sometimes it hasn't backfired, but it's just technology is so ever changing and moving forward so quickly at a rapid rate that it's insane. I mean, like, just look at how things were 10 years from now. But heck, go 5 years from now. How much has changed? You know what I'm saying? Like, you buy something today, it's already obsolete tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? With how much fast technology is increasing. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that. I just, like I said, I was just like, my inner nerd was completely and totally sparked by the fascination of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, hey, that's actually legitimate. That could actually work. However, it would take an extended period of time, kind of like Chernobyl, when the when the nuclear reactor, melted down back in Chernobyl in 75, all these years later, nobody can still live in Chernobyl, because the radiation poisoning is so bad still
Mm-hmm.
that, it mutates cells in the body or it just flat out kills everybody from radiation poisoning. Like, it's like, yeah, I get that. But you're going to talk about launching it at both poles. Well, that makes sense. And it would achieve the goal. However, it would be so much more long term to achieve that goal that you're talking about before it was actually inhabitable without causing, exponential amount of people to die in the process.
Right. Well, it's funny you're saying you're talking about the Chernobyl, where it is. They had a thing online, a thing on TV they were talking about. It was that 3 Mile Island where that nuclear reactors over there. I forgot where it was at. When the place was called 3 Mile Island back in the early '70s and stuff, and this and that, where they had a problem where the nuclear reactor started having problems and stuff, and it was wasn't cooling down or something, and they had to evacuate the whole city because of the reactors and all that stuff. So a lot of people out. People look at plus the boron levels and stuff. He got exposed to the radiation. Still to this day, he still has radiation issues in his body. It's crazy. It's just it's insane. I mean, even soldiers and stuff that, like, say, were in Vietnam, You hear a lot of them talk about that. The ones that are alive today still have problems with that Agent Orange. You know, here it is this many years later. I mean, your body's pretty sensitive when it comes to these crazy man-made stuff. Still Professor X? Man, man. Sorry everybody for all the technical difficulties tonight. With me?
It's kind of been a trying one tonight, man.
I tell you, we had a night like this for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But anyway, somebody was supposed to send me some information so that I could watch the new Batman, and he completely forgot.
I completely forgot about that because I was busy on Saturday and Sunday doing pictures. So we'll give you a pass on that one, brother.
No. You're gonna have to send it to me right now, because if you don't do it right now, you will forget again, like you always do.
I will send it to you after I get done the podcast, though, because I can't do multitasking on the phone when it comes to this podcasting.
You'll forget. I promise. You'll forget. At the end of the podcast, you won't remember it. I know you. No. I've been around you for years.
I'm getting old. That's why.
Oh, hush. You ain't old.
I know I'm not.
I'm 3 years older than you. You ain't old. Just quit it.
No, it's crazy though, man. I can forget. Man, I like today. I went to church and everything and all that stuff. Man, I had to come all the way back home to grab my wallet. I forgot to grab my wallet. Once you get out of routine and doing something, then it can mess you up, man. It can really mess you up.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the reason why we talk about routines as often as we do on the show. That's the reason why we talk about the fact that it's okay to be screwed up by the fact that your routine got messed up, because, you get so used to it. Mm-hmm. We have to live our lives in routines. There are certain things in our lives that have to be consistent routines. If they are not, then it throws our complete and total life cycle out of whack.
Right.
I mean, it's just exactly how it is. Certain things have to be this way, currently. It doesn't mean they can't change later down the road, but it means at this moment in time, they have to be this way currently.
Right. But yeah, man, I was talking to Buddy. I was talking to my buddy. He said he watched that new it's called Moonlight, the new Marvel series that's on Peacock. I think it's on Peacock. Peacock or Netflix, one of them, but it's called Moonlight or something. He said it was real good. Hello? Real sorry, people. It is technical difficulties tonight. I do not understand what's going on. Be right back. Man. Sorry, everybody, for all the technical difficulties tonight. With me?
It's kind of been a trying one tonight, man.
I tell you, we had a night like this for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But anyway, somebody was supposed to send me some information so that I could watch the new Batman, and he completely forgot.
I completely forgot about that because I was busy on Saturday and Sunday doing pictures. So we'll give you a pass on that one, brother. We'll give you a pass
No. You're gonna have to send it to me right now, because if you don't do it right now, you will forget again, like you always do.
I will send it to you after I get done the podcast, though, because I can't do multitasking on the phone when it comes to this podcasting.
You'll forget. I promise. You'll forget. At the end of the podcast, you won't remember it. I know you. I've been around you for years.
I'm getting old. That's why.
Oh, hush. You ain't old.
I know I'm not.
I'm 3 years older than you. You ain't old. Just quit it.
No, it's crazy though, man. I can forget. Man, like today. I went to church and everything and all that stuff. Man, I had to come all the way back home to grab my wallet. I forgot to grab my wallet. Once you get out of routine and doing something, then it can mess you up, man. It can really mess you up.
Well, yeah. That's the reason why we talk about routines as often as we do on the show. That's the reason why we talk about the fact that it's okay to be screwed up by the fact that your routine got messed up, because, you get so used to it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to live our lives in routines. There are certain things in our lives that have to be consistent routines. If they are not, then it throws our complete and total life cycle out of whack.
Right.
It's just exactly how it is. Certain things have to be this way, currently. It doesn't mean they can't change later down the road, but it means at this moment in time, they have to be this way currently.
Right. But yeah, man, I was talking to my buddy. He said he watched that new what was it? It's called Moonlight, the new Marvel series that's on Peacock. Things on Peacock. Peacock or Netflix, one of them, but it's called Moonlight or something. He said it was real good. Hello? Real sorry, people. It is technical difficulties tonight. I do not understand what's going on. Be right back.
Hello.
Oh, delay.
Okay, so last thing I heard was you were talking about Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Yeah, I heard it was pretty good though.
Yeah, Disney Plus. Disney Plus has the series Moon Knight, and I watched the entire season. Yeah. Just came fresh off of finishing the finale, 2 days ago. It's really awesome, man. I hate to completely nerd out, on the podcast, but man, I really like it. It was pretty good. I got confused around episode 5, but ultimately it made sense. And man, I'm telling you right now, as highly as you have recommended me watching The Batman, I am just as highly recommending for you to watch the Moon Knight series. It's awesome. Seriously.
You know the thing about it though. Have you noticed that there's been a total influx of a high amount of superstar movies coming out or series coming out than than ever before. I mean, some of these superstar heroes and stuff I've never heard of until they came out, and even though they were in comic books. I mean, if you wasn't a comic book guy, you know, or person that's heavy into it, then you know, you wouldn't know. Like me, I mean, I was reading comic books back ago, but I wasn't like heavy into it. But it's crazy, man. It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it's actually really cool watching the evolution after Stan Lee passing away. Um, it's almost like after his death, the Marvel Universe decided to let loose the multiple dimensions
Right.
in which they touched upon in Doctor Strange, you know, talking about the multiverse and everything like that. I am a true nerd, so I'm going to talk for the next minute and then I'm going to give it back to you. So, with that being said, you're going to bring in Doctor Strange, you're going to develop Doctor Strange, you're going to make his story predominant. But here's the thing, Doctor Strange was not the most popular character in the comic book series. In fact, he was one of the most least popular. It wasn't until the movie started fluctuating into production that the need and the recognition for Doctor Strange became known to Stan Lee, who was the one who suggested that the movie be made to divulge into his background and to let the newer generation know who, you know, aren't comic book fans or who aren't comic book aficionados, who aren't comic book, you know, characters themselves, whatever it is. They went into all of that to do this, to develop this character. And the fact that they brought Scarlet Witch back made it so much better. I have not seen the new movie, but I am so fascinated with what is going to happen moving forward, just strictly based off the character development they have been doing. You know, like I said, since Stan Lee died, you know, a huge loss. You know, thank you for everything that you did, Stan. Superheroes in the Marvel Universe were created by you and because of you. And we have all these memories because of you. So, you know, that's an amazing legacy. And thank you for that impact that you had on humanity. But with everything else, man, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Because this stuff is getting ready to develop on a whole nother level that nobody thought existed. Because now you're getting into the subsidiary characters. You're getting into actual character development based off of villains or mercenaries or characters that existed in the Marvel Universe that were not predominant. They were just there so that the hero could have a villain to fight against, whatever the case may be. Sit back, enjoy the ride. It's going to be an awesome next 10 years, I promise.
Well, you know, the thing about it though is, man, like you talk about Doctor Strange. I never even heard of Doctor Strange until I watched that first movie, and I was hooked. I was like, "What, Doctor Strange?" And I want to see the new one. I mean, because when you think about superheroes and stuff, the common ones always come to mind. You know, your Wonder Woman, your Batman, Superman, you know, your Captain Americas, or your Catwoman, or your, you know, so you're the Hulk, you know, or the Thing. Just your Avengers. Those are all your common superheroes that you know of. That always come to mind. Wolverine, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
But now,
so basically what you're saying is you're referring to the starting lineup in the superhero world. Right. So that within itself is an amazing topic and something awesome to dive into, because I know you are half the nerd I am, and the other half I will help you with. So if we're going, let's just go basketball. Starting five. Who is your starting five for the Marvel Universe?
So
Heroes.
Heroes,
then villains.
Well, of course, number one is always be Batman. Batman.
Batman's DC, bro.
Batman's DC, so Marvel. So Marvel is going to
Marvel first.
You go, yeah, you go first. I can get an idea because I was got stuff all mixed up.
Okay, so if I'm going Marvel, my starting five heroes, Marvel heroes. I'm gonna go with Wolverine. I'm gonna go with Thor.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Deadpool.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Captain America. And then I'm gonna go with no. I'm not sure, actually. Let's screw everything up. Let's go with the Storm.
Gotcha. If I was to go with anyone as far as that, I mean, I like your picks. You know, I like the Wolverine. I always love Wolverine. Wolverine's like one of my favorite characters. The Thing, nothing but the Hulk. I like the Hulk. You still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you got the Wolverine, you got the Hulk, Captain America. I always like Captain America. Spider Spider-Man.
Okay. Good one. Good one.
Black Panther.
That's a good five. That's a good top five, man. Okay. So now I'm gonna list my villains in Marvel, my top five villains.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Number one, Magneto. Number two, Doctor Doom. Number three, Dormammu, Doctor Strange. That's where Dormammu's from. Number four, the Sentinel from the X-Men series. And number five, man. Sorry. Green Lantern.
All right, then. Well, for mine, I'm gonna go with Loki. I didn't really like Loki.
Yep.
I didn't really like Thanos. I did not like Ultron, and was not a big fan of Magneto. I didn't like Magneto either.
All right. So who's your five? I heard Ultron. I heard Thanos. I heard Magneto. Loki. And who else?
I said Ultron, right?
Yeah. Maybe I missed it.
I said Loki, Thanos, Ultron, Magneto. I don't know. Maybe I did miss one then. Let me see. Let me think about this. I'm thinking about it. Kingpin.
Oh, how dare you! I might have a slight crush on you for that reference. Just saying. That's awesome, dude. Most people forget about Daredevil and Kingpin, man. That's sweet. Honestly, dude, that's awesome. So I'm going to throw it to you because I know you know DC more than you do Marvel. So DC superheroes, who's your top 5?
Shoot,
if you have to take 5 into battle, who are you taking?
Man, I'm taking Batman. I'm taking Superman. I'm taking the Flash, and I'm taking Green Arrow, and I'm taking you know what? I'll take Wonder Woman.
Okay.
She had a lot of aspects there. By the way, the Wonder Woman movie was a good one. The first one was good. The second one, I wasn't too fond of it.
Well, I can't fight with you on that. That's good. That's legit. However, mine's slightly different. So
Okay.
we have 3 definitely in common. So I'm going to take Superman first, obviously. Green Lantern second. Wonder Woman third. Batman fourth. And the 5th one, that's where I always constantly struggle. I'm going to go with Cyborg.
Ooh. Now, as far as like villain side, I'm gonna go Lex Luthor. I'm gonna go Joker. I'm going to go Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, and also now after and Scarecrow.
So yeah, all those, the villains are so easy to answer because they are so few and far between. Like you and I both know this, man. So seriously, like this stuff is what I wait for to happen every time conversations like these start with us. If you had to pick one, because we both know there is only one ultimate villain in the DC universe. It is either Lex Luthor or the Joker. Who's your pick?
Joker.
Why? Why is it the Joker?
Hold on 1 second, brother. What the heck? That's right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the podcast. This is your boy, Big Boy. This podcast is brought to you and sponsored by Terra Jersey Enterprise. Terra Jersey Enterprise,
We'll hook you up with some custom shirts. Also, Terror Jersey photography, capturing your moments of today to make them last for a lifetime. But like I said, this podcast is brought to you by Terror Jersey Enterprise.
Joker. I think the reason why Joker was more. I think he was more publicly broadcasted out there more than Lex Luthor. And there's so many different Jokers out there from different styles of Batman. You know that there's different personalities of Joker. And
honestly, like outside of Darth Vader, I think Joker is probably the greatest villain of all time.
Right.
He is definitely the most popular outside of Darth Vader. Like I said, everybody talks about the heroic roles and this, that, and the other. And you know what? I don't want to discredit that, because everybody wants a hero. Everybody needs a hero. But sometimes the villain is so majestically personified. Right. It's like you cannot help but relate to that story that they are telling about the villain. It's crazy. What do you think?
Well, the thing about it though is it's like let's say, like, for instance, with the Batman series, just Batman in general. Like, if you watch, if you think about every single Batman that's came out, right?
Okay. What about them?
For different personalities as far as the villains. Saying the Joker has never been really been the same. They always been different, as far as different personalities. The Riddler. I remember last time I remember the Riddler was back in the day when Jim Carrey played the Riddler. He was, you remember that? Remember he played it then. And that was when they had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and but the Riddler now, the new Batman, is different. But Joker and Batman is kind of like they are the ones that are the most iconic ones you can think about, because when you think about Batman, you think of the Joker. And after the Joker, you think of the Penguin. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, did you watch the Joker movie?
Oh yeah, completely.
That was a different side of. I mean, it's different Joker. I mean, that right there was it was different.
So the villains, again, for you were what?
What, for DC?
Yeah, just
okay.
DC.
It was the Joker, Lex Luthor. Was it Black? What was it? Wait, was it Poison Ivy? What was it?
Yeah, Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. I forgot. I have two more. Dang, I forgot the other two I had. I was so disappointed on our thing messing up. I'm just gonna say that. So I'm gonna say the Riddler and the Penguin.
Okay. So
I guess you can tell I'm more of a Batman kind of guy.
Oh no. Hey, and you know what, man? I got nothing but love for that, man. That's awesome. Seriously, I have loved Batman, most of my whole life. However, for me, when they released the X-Men series, that was my forte.
Right.
However, I was and still am kind of disappointed that, They never developed Gambit any further because he was always, my favorite universe. I love the fact that, he had a steel pole, which he was a badass with. And then for whatever reason, he could charge a bunch of energy into, a poker deck of playing cards and kill you with them. I just loved how simplistic it was. But man, I would have to say, villain wise for me, I mean, Joker, definitely number one. I do not think that anybody that is currently still working in the DC universe will ever create a villain that will ever unseat the Joker in the DC universe. I just do not believe that is possible. However, for me, second is Deathstroke. That's from the Green Arrow series and everything like that. Deathstroke was a complete and total badass. He was basically Deadpool without the mutation. Seriously, like he was literally the exact same person. And then after Deathstroke, I would have to say Lex Luthor, obviously. Then I would have to say I can't remember his name. See his face, but I can't remember his name. Well, I'm gonna have to default because I can't remember that one villain's name. Then I would have to say Ares, and then yeah, the Riddler myself. I can't ever count the Riddler out of any equation.
But have you noticed that of all your characters, superheroes, there's only a few superheroes out there that didn't have powers or mutated that, like Batman. He's one of those types, He didn't get mutated or anything. He just had the suit and was just very athletic. But
well, I mean, think about it. Why did the Marvel Universe cry at the end of what was it, Avengers Endgame? Whenever Tony Stark died, because he's Batman in a robot uniform.
Right.
Same character. Same exact character. Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Same character.
Yeah. I mean, I always loved Iron Man too. I mean, when the Iron Man movies were on point. And then, especially that one Iron Man movie they had with the dead Cheeto that was in it too. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I mean, it's just I feel like you watch those movies and you can be any age and still feel like a kid again. Once again, we're having some technical difficulties. We're probably going through our closing thoughts after this and try again. Man. Why is it that Anchor is doing this to us?
It's been a bad night, man. I'm sorry, man. It has said I've had 5 bars of connection all night long, and it's dropped 4 calls now. Oh man, I'm sorry, man.
Man, like I said, for a topic like this, I think we have to do an actual in-person show and have some food and just talk to this, because this
Tacos.
this is
Tacos.
This is a topic, dude, that we
This-
know very
This is a taco show.
right. Exactly.
Like for real. If we want to start labeling food with shows, if we're going to talk about superheroes and everything like that, it's definitely taco.
Right.
For real. You know, if we're going to talk about technology and things like that, it's sushi.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I love sushi.
yeah, I do too. If we're going to talk about, sports and everything like that, we're going to have a good old greasy bacon cheeseburger. If we're going to talk about life in general, we're going to have a salad with grilled chicken on top of it.
Wow.
And if we're going to just absolutely discuss everything that comes with in between, you know, you can fill a jar full of golf balls and then you can add pebbles to it. And then you can ask yourself, is that jar still full? No, it isn't. So you're going to add sand to it. And you're going to pack that sand in until there's absolutely no more room in the jar. Okay. That works.
Yeah, so
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from this viewpoint, the golf balls are the major things in your life. Friends, family, this, that. The pebbles represent the secondary things in your life. Job, career, things on that line. The sand represents nothing but the small stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, but if you fill that thing half full of sand first with all the small stuff, you won't have room for anything else.
Exactly.
So you got to stop, you got to think, got to be thankful for everything you have.
Right.
So I know I said you take it off, but man, it presented it, so I ran with it. It's all yours.
That was good, man. That was good. I mean, you make a good point there. Sometimes you gotta not let the small stuff take over. It's like tonight, we had issues tonight with the podcast with staying connected. Those are small things, those are small hiccups, but we didn't let it stop us, Now, this last go around, we threw in the towel a little bit because it's getting a little ridiculous. but that's a good point, though, man. You can't let the small stuff take over, because when you let the small stuff take over, sometimes that would deter the big stuff that is positive that will happen to your life happen. You let the small things. It can be small positives or small negatives, but whatever it is, you can't let that stuff overtake what the big picture is, or what's going to come next in the future. So don't, like the saying they have, don't sweat the small stuff.
Small stuff comes in different phases, man. What some of us may consider small stuff, it's something that somebody else may consider something huge. You know what I mean? You always have to
look at both sides.
Yeah, you always exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. You always have to look at it from both sides. But if you really want to try to truly be a friend to somebody, if you really want to try to truly be there for somebody, then put yourself on both sides of the equation and make yourself available whenever they need you. Don't say you're going to be there and then not be there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that does a lot more damage than people realize.
Right. Exactly.
Think about it. Okay, think about it. You're 36. I'm 39. We kind of come from the same era. So, my dad told me a lot of times that outside of his word, a man has nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you give your word, make sure you follow through with it,
Right.
because it will define you for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
And, I looked at that and I was like, oh, that's stupid. He read that out of a cereal box, blah, blah, blah. But it has turned out to be one of the things currently in my life thus far that has proven to be the most truth.
Right.
Like, if I tell somebody I'm going to do something and I don't do it, then they have every reason in the world to not trust me.
Right.
However, if I tell somebody I'm going to do something and I do it, and then they question me, I kind of negate that argument. You see what I'm saying? Because I've already proven that I'm there. What do you think about that?
Well, it's true though. I mean, honestly, everybody does that every day, and not even realize it. I mean, I can go simple as this. You know how you say you talking to somebody, and they say, "Oh man, yeah, my father, he fell and he hurt his head pretty good, and he's not doing very well right now, but he's hanging in there." And then he tells them, "Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I keep you in my prayers." And he said, They said, "I appreciate that." And you walk away. We don't even pray for him. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We do that every single day. I mean, we do that every single day. And I caught myself saying that where I
But,
walk away, huh?
but let me ask you this. Because it's crazy how many episodes we've done. Every time we get to closing arguments, we get the most real that we've been in the entire podcast. So why do you say that you'll be there?
Because I think it's because I think
Hold on. Let me finish. Why do you say you'll be there when you ultimately know that most likely you won't?
because you feel like
The right thing to do?
that's the right thing to do at that time in life.
Yeah.
You go in with good intentions, but you don't.
Isn't it crazy though how some of the things in life that are done with the greatest of intentions oftentimes end up being the worst things that could ever possibly happen?
Yeah.
That's so screwed up, man. That's so weird how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's scary, man. It really is. If you think about it, think about how many things that somebody thought that has happened through history that has been defined with the quote unquote best intentions, but it was the best intentions based off of
A thought.
a sole person's way of thinking. Yeah, right. A thought. Exactly.
I mean, we're going through it right now.
Yep, we are.
With COVID. I mean, with the COVID stuff. They shut down them. They shut down the United States, shut down the world basically. They try to keep everybody quarantined to get safe, and they started giving everybody money each month to survive. And then once COVID started to disappear and nobody's talking about it much anymore, and now it's time to go back to work. Nobody wants to go back to work because they got hand fed so much. So that was the good intentions was to we want to help people out, but it backfired because people took advantage of that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. I think people always tend to take advantage of a situation that they think they can profit out of. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do you think?
Of course, dude. It's just how the mentality is of people now these days. I mean, the morals and values that people that we grew up with, or this and that, is gone. Especially this younger generation. I mean, it's all about how much I can get and not have to work for it, or how much I can get over on something. Like, cause it's just the way. Anything about it, though, parents are getting younger and younger and younger, but then their parents were young too. So basically, the whole morals, the ethics, and what's right and wrong is it's not being preached out there. And now, like, the old school grandparent type of parenting is going away, because the old school grandparents are being replaced by these new school grandparents that are still young in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's very true. Very, very true. Take us off with the closing thought of the night. I know this went a lot longer than what you originally wanted, but I think we touched on a couple of really good things. So,
Yeah.
Close us out.
I mean, well, it's life is a crazy thing. I mean, you're going to have challenges in life, and it's all about how you overcome those challenges. You're going to find things in life that you can bond with, you can correlate with, you can move swiftly with, but you're always going to have some hiccups with those things. But you can't always forget, the situation you're in, or where you come from, or what you're at. And also, too, it doesn't matter. And sometimes you have to just slow down and just think about it and what the outcome could be, And then also, too, your word is very important. It's how we talk about your word and stuff. And when you say something, be real about it. If you don't go out there and tell somebody you're going to do something for them, and you can't do it, you might just be honest with them. So I think the whole correlation of the closing thought of tonight is just be real in everything you do, and use your mind. Think about it, or what your next move is going to be, and it's really think about it and slow down, because a decision you make today can be a life-changing decision, a life-changing process that will happen later on. That could not only affect you, but it could affect everyone around you. Jake?
Well, you know what? For once, I don't have a whole lot to add to that, because I don't think it could have been said, much better. Basically, with everything he just said, summed up our word and our man Jerry Springer. Take care of yourselves and each other. So, thank you guys. We love you. Have a great night.
Always.
Thank you for listening to the podcast tonight. I'm sorry for technical difficulties, but this is the closing. I appreciate you for listening to the podcast. Thank you. That's right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the podcast. This is your boy, Big Boy. This podcast is brought to you and sponsored by Terra Jersey Enterprise. Terra Jersey Enterprise will hook you up with some custom shirts. Also, Terra Jersey Photography, capturing your moments of today to make them last for a lifetime. But like I said, this podcast is brought to you by Terra Jersey Enterprise.